What's up, guys? I've been putting off this video for a long time, and it's a positive video, but I figure there's no better time than now while sitting in the wilderness on a beautiful creek. I decided to relaunch the YouTube site, Beardy. It started as a long-distance motorcycle channel and adventures that I had found myself on after some life-altering events, loss of animals, relationships, many things that had happened in my personal life and actually my professional life. And then I felt that as the current time progressed, a lot of things have happened since then, and it only seemed reasonable, realistic, and made sense for all the viewers who know me now to start off with me on a path that makes more sense for current times. And then as we get to know each other and as my stories progress, I'll actually throw back in the motorcycle trip that I was on while living on my motorcycle full time. And I'll throw those stories in once we get further down the line, because I feel like right now it doesn't make sense to start a new following with the motorcycle diaries that aren't happening right now. So motorcycling was amazing for me. I actually did really well on the bike for a long time. However, I have had a lifetime of back injuries, most of them undiagnosed, some of them diagnosed. I ended up, when I got off the motorcycle for a few weeks, few months, I ended up with some severe neck problems, which got diagnosed as degenerative cervical issues. It took me about 4 to 6 months to get out of those events where I was walking around with my arm in the air to relieve tension. And as I got out of those events, I kept going back into getting into low back events. And it turned out I got my lower spine diagnosed with chronic chronic lumbar degenerative disease, almost no discs on the sides, narrowing of the canals, no back surgery yet, but I had a long distance motorcycle trip where I went down a few times in Arizona, and realizing that when I'm by myself having to pick up a 900-pound bike, it's just not reasonable. I almost didn't get the bike upright. I laid on the road for an hour waiting for someone to come help me. No one came. And so I realized at that point, for my health and safety, I needed to get off the motorcycles. Maybe not forever, but I would imagine so. I've ridden motorcycles my whole life. I've had many cross-country trips all through Canada, dirt roads in Peru, Baja. I feel really fortunate to be alive. No road accidents. Anyone who rides dirt knows that you go down, but no road accidents. Lost a father-in-law, ex-father-in-law on motorcycle. That was devastating. And I don't want to do that to the people around me and those who love me. They deserve better. Not against anything if you ride motorcycles, rock and roll, keep ripping, rubber side down. I love it. It's just where I am. I've lived hard. I've lived a hard life, not a generic corporate life, or not a generic life in any way. And so I just made that decision. So here we are. I tried to build out my pickup trucks to fit where I was staying in the city, and it didn't work out. I had a bunch of just really bizarre events, mechanical, physical. People, I had a guy ruin one of my pickup trucks, a brand new truck. That's a different story. So I ended up with a Honda Element. I have seen those cars before. I didn't know a lot about them though. I do remember as a teenager in my 20s thinking that'd be a cool car. I think one of my good friends had one. And somehow, it took me a long time, but somehow I found one. And I ended up building it out the way I know how to have cars built out. I had a guy that I found through YouTube and social media, Miguel at Element Lifestyle. He's not only one of the better mechanics I've ever met in my life, or best mechanic, he's a Honda Element specialist. And whether you call this a plug for him or not, it's irrelevant because he's just the best. So we built out a modest off-road rig, just a small body lift, a subframe drop, a little bit bigger tires, a little bit better suspension, swivel seats. Ended up trying a few different builds on the inside with a Pacific Adventure Works cot, which I absolutely loved. It just didn't fit my needs traveling solo. So roundabout, I ended up with a Fifth Element full camp setup, which I like about 95% of. The 5% being I don't love that you don't have a square rectangle storage underneath to just slide things underneath. That being said, it gives you the best headroom for sleeping, and I found ways to work around all the storage issues. I'm out here on a long trip right now in Idaho as I'm filming with a dog, Charles, who wasn't really supposed to be on this trip, but he ended up on this trip with me. And we're two people, I guess a dog and a person. Excuse the wind, hopefully it's not ruining the audio. I will get a wireless mic soon. But two people, me and the dog, are packed for this trip for about a month, and it's going great. I love the Honda Element that everything is tight. I pack kind of like I'm an ultralight backpacker or lightweight backpacker, and I kind of pack my travel rig to meet a lot of those needs. I don't overdo it. I'm a chef, a caterer, an educator, and many other things. But in the food world, I don't travel like a lot of people do with really complicated cooking setups. I have so much time in my life to cook elaborate food that when I'm traveling, I keep it really simple. I bring one frying pan, an MSR reactor, which is like a jet boil, but more fuel efficient. I bring coffee grounds and just a screen filter. I don't bring my AeroPress, even though I have one. I don't bring my 2-burner propane stove. I bring a really small MSR wind burner in addition to my jet boil style, so I can fry stuff, stir fry. And everything else has been great. I have an awning that I'm not super stoked on, but there's reasons I have it, and I'll figure that out. And then from here, we're headed to the PNW meetup. And so I'll get to meet some of you guys by this time that I get this posted. That may have already happened. Just depending on when I get to editing footage and starting this channel over again. This probably should be video 1. Anyways, this is an introduction to adventures, travels. It's not Honda Element exclusive. It doesn't have an Honda Element pun named channel. It's just Weirded Beardy doing the things that he's always done, going into the mountains, hanging out with dogs, exploring the wilderness, skiing, surfing, hiking, making jewelry, cooking, doing crazy things. And right now that story's taking place in a Honda Element. So there's a lot of you guys out there that are going to meet me through those connections, and that's amazing. And I'll probably keep this Honda Element forever. Doesn't mean I won't build out another truck. I really love my Toyotas, and I really love coilover suspension. And so we'll see what happens. I love this Element. I feel like 2 people and a dog would be a little tight, although I know people do it. Would not be my preferred method of transit. If you're just solo, I think you can't beat the Honda Element. The solo and a dog is where it just becomes manageable for me. So anyways, I'm super stoked you guys are here. I'm glad I could give you a little backstory on how we ended up where we are. And like I said, I'll keep sharing, the places I am, the places I go. And I really couldn't think of a better place to tell this story than sitting on the side of a gorgeous creek in the mountains of Idaho and I think as we go along, you know, I'll tell some of the past stories, but we'll just move ahead together. And I hope you guys have a beautiful day. If you're just meeting me, I'm stoked you found me. I'm really only interested in bringing positivity, you know, not to say that my adventures won't have struggles and challenges that I'll share, but my channel is all about promoting, you know, health and wellness, you know, through adventure travel. And I know there's always going to be people who have negative comments. I'm going to do my best to just take them with a grain of salt, comment positively when possible, and not engage in any negativity. I hope you guys have a beautiful weekend, week, whatever day it is. I hope you guys get to get out into the mountains like this and see beautiful things that I get to see. Take your animals out there, teach them how to swim, have fun. I just wish nothing but the best for all you guys. So rock and roll, enjoy life. It's great to meet you guys.